This episode of On the Record is brought to you by Ingersoll Tillage, specializing in seedbed solutions. Whatever seedbed challenges you have, Ingersoll can give you the right tools to get the job done. For more information, visit ingersolltillage.com. I'm Executive Editor Kim Schmidt. Welcome to On the Record. Here's an update on what's currently impacting the ag equipment industry. Buhler Industries, the manufacturer of the versatile brand of tractors and other implements, has signed an agreement with Kubota to manufacture a new tractor platform in the mid-range front wheel assist segment. This represents another step for Kubota into the large ag equipment arena. Under the terms of the long-term agreement, Buhler will manufacture the tractors at its Winnipeg plant. This will enhance the product line currently offered by Kubota as its largest tractor available. Buhler will also manufacture the tractor under the Versatile brand. Adam Reed, Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Buhler, says the agreement will be mutually beneficial to both companies.
Well, I think there's a few benefits to it. It's inherent to both companies. This partnership has been in the works for quite a while. And for Buhler Industries and for the Versatile facility here in Winnipeg, what it does, it allows us to amortize a lot of the overhead that's going into this new product line and increase the capacity of the plant. We will be building this new product both for Versatile and for Kubota on the row crop production line, which right now is 265 to 365 horsepower. So this new horsepower range really adds volume to that, and of course that's going to allow us to negotiate with suppliers and get the overheads down, which obviously is going to increase the plant efficiency.
Todd Stuckey, Senior Vice President of Marketing, Product Support, and Strategic Projects, says Kubota plans to introduce the new tractor this summer.
Our plan is to, mid-year this summer, we're going to have a product launch to our selected dealers. When I say selected dealers, obviously we have limited production the first year. We'll look at the dealers that have the largest market. We'll also look at dealers who have a desire to sell the product and the capabilities to support the customer. And that's how we're going to select the first group of customers. And we'll probably do this in 3 phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And that's our plan on how we're going to roll out the new tractor.
Meanwhile, Buhler introduced the Versatile branded Nemesis to its dealers in February during the Versatile dealer meeting. Now here's Jack Zemlicka with the latest from the Technology Corner.
Thanks, Kim. While there is still a mix of optimism and skepticism surrounding the overall farm economy, one bright spot could be the precision farming segment. Respondents to the recently released 11th Annual No-Till Farmer Operational Benchmark Study forecast increased adoption of 11 different precision technologies in 2019 compared to last year. The biggest mover in the study is variable rate fertilizing, up more than 10% from 2018, followed by use of satellite aerial imagery, up more than 9% year over year. Also up more than 7% are auto seed shutoff and yield monitor and data analysis. While only about 12% of respondents plan to utilize implement guidance, it's nearly double the 2018 percentage. 2 other emerging technologies trending upward are unmanned aerial vehicles and variable rate seeding, with both seeing expected adoption growth of nearly 5%, according to the study. The lone decline is in the use of light bars, down more than 3% in 2019. So, how does the broader adoption of precision practices correlate to no-tillers' expected technology purchases in 2019? The benchmark study revealed that, on average, respondents are planning to invest about $2,600 per farm on ag technology. This total is about $500 more than initial 2018 forecasts, but only about $100 off the per-farm average of just over $2,500 reported in this year's benchmark study. A new category added in 2018 tracked precision service expenditures, with respondents spending an average of just over $3,000 per farm. That total is forecast to decline to about $2,400 in 2019, according to the study. However, it's worth noting that survey projections made at the start of the year don't always coincide with end-of-the-year totals, and historically, actual precision expenditures have exceeded initial projections. Back to you, Kim.
Both publicly traded Canadian dealers of farm machinery, Rocky Mountain Dealerships and Service Equipment, reported record equipment sales for 2018. Rocky Mountain Dealerships, Canada's largest independent dealer of Case IH equipment, reported that it achieved sales of just over $1 billion, a 9.6% year-over-year increase. For the year, new equipment sales were up 18%, used equipment sales rose by nearly 31%, while parts sales increased 1.3%, and service revenue grew by less than 1%. Gross profit improved by 1.5%, and gross margins were down by 1%. On the small increases in parts and service revenues, the company said the reconditioning of trades taken in with increased equipment sales volumes consumed much of the year-over-year increase in overall product support activity levels. So while activity levels were up 4.8%, the shift toward internal activity constrained reported product support revenue growth to 1.1%. Rocky Mountain's net earnings for 2018 declined by nearly 22%. The dealership group made 2 acquisitions during the past year. Service Equipment, John Deere's largest dealership group in Canada, achieved record new equipment revenues in its agriculture segment, increasing 10% over the prior year, while marketing associated with used equipment trades in season decreased used equipment margins by 2% during 2018. Consolidated revenues reached $1.35 billion, up 11% for the year. Overall, Service's total agricultural equipment revenues were $927 million, an increase of 11% versus 2017. New equipment revenues grew by 10% to $491 million. Used equipment sales increased by 19% to $293 million, for a total of $784 million. Ag parts sales for the year rose by 2% to nearly $96 million, while service revenues increased by 5% to $43 million, up 5% during 2018. Overall, gross profit margins during 2018 fell less than 1% to 14.5% compared to 15.6% for 2017. The company reported that with its ag segment, adjusted net income before income tax expense increased $1.4 million in 2018. The increased sales of new machines also accelerated the volume of used equipment taken on trade. Overall, gross profit rose by $4 million. Service completed 1 acquisition in 2018. Farmers, ag equipment dealers, and manufacturers are all feeling the ongoing after effects of the bomb cyclone that hit the Great Plains late last week. Nebraska officials estimate the storm and ensuing record flooding is costing the agricultural industry there about $1 million a day. Overall, the estimated damage to Nebraska's agriculture at $1.5 billion in damages and losses when all is said and done. Iowa and South Dakota have also been hard hit by flooding in recent days. Valmont Industries, the manufacturer of irrigation equipment for agriculture, idled its Valley, Nebraska manufacturing facility. According to the company, the majority of the buildings on site have not been impacted, but the flooding has resulted in the closure of major roads and highways surrounding the facility, making it inaccessible. Farm equipment dealers have also been impacted. This overhead video shows John Deere dealer AgriVision's Pacific Junction, Iowa store barely visible as floodwaters totally engulfed the dealership and surrounding areas. In response to devastating flooding in Nebraska, the Equipment Dealers Foundation, Equipment Dealers Association, and Iowa-Nebraska Equipment Dealers Association are urging anyone who can make a donation to EDF's Disaster Relief Fund to contact them. Iowa-Nebraska Equipment Dealers Group has pledged that INEDA will match any donation the fund receives from one of its dealer members. Disaster relief funds go directly to assist employees of equipment dealerships impacted by natural disasters. Donations can be made by mailing your check made out to the Equipment Dealers Foundation to its headquarters in St. Louis. Mike White, a spokesman for the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency, summed up the current situation there. They can't even get into some areas to look at infrastructure like a bridge or a levee. The blizzard came up fast, the floods came up fast, recovery is going to be a lot slower, he said. When President Trump released his budget, it looked like conservation CRP grounds could go back into tillage. Last week, Ag Equipment Intelligence editors had the chance to sit down with the new NRCS chief, Matthew Lohr, to get his take on Trump's proposed budget.
The president, released the budget this week, and in that, there's going to, he's calling for cuts across the board. Again, that's the first step. Certainly, a budget has to be voted on by Congress, and I've also seen the comments from the leadership in Congress that they didn't agree with a lot of the cuts that the president had in his budget. I mean, it's a process. So I guess I'm going off the assumption that the president signed the Farm Bill into law, and Congress wrote the legislation, the president signed it, so that's their commitment towards conservation. We'll have to see as the next budget process takes place, but I do know there's a strong desire to keep conservation at the forefront. And I think in the budget there were some cuts to some USDA programs, but I really don't, from what I could tell, there weren't strong cuts to conservation programs. So.
And now from the Implement and Tractor Archives. The largest tractor manufacturer plant in the former USSR was located in Minsk, in the then Russian satellite state of Belarus, where it remains today. Products were initially exported under the Minsk Tractor Works or MTZ brand, but later labeled simply as Belarus. The 90-engine horsepower MTZ-80 included features such as a sprung front axle and air braking. As always, we welcome your feedback. You can send comments and story suggestions to kschmidt@lestermedia.com. Until next time, thanks for joining us.